313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and There we go. Now we're ready to rock and roll, family, because we've got the man himself, the great person that is here for you so that you can do that telehealth right here from the TV station of WHPR, WHPS on the Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy E. Jones, and since we have him here already, remember the program is on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. We have a broadcast on Sundays on 15.2 from 4 to 5 p.m. And of course, you can tune in to the R.J. Watkins page. When you do that, you'll see the black and white. You hit the R.J., hit that, and then you go to search R.J. Watkins, and that'll come up to the red and white. The red and white symbol, that's what you want to hit to watch the program live as we're speaking right now. And you see those numbers down below. You can call and we can talk, and you can talk to Dr. Watson. Are you still there, Dr. Watson? For some reason, he dropped off. That's not you, Doc, is it?
No, I think
Is that you, Dr. Watson?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, okay. You switched lanes on me.
Okay.
It's okay. Well, Doc, let's do this. Let's invite your family, your world audience, to the fact that we're the Talk Beat Jones, and we are bringing to you live from the Bay Area Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson, and he brings to you the Health Beat Show. Dr. Watson, let's go right into it because you have a lot of information that you want to put out, and we want to give you time to talk with your audience, talk with your friends and your family. And I also have information from the CEO of the TV station here at WHPR, some wonderful, great news, and I'm going to kind of go through my notes to bring it to you, family, live, hot off the press. You're going to be impressed. And I'll just say the key word that we're going to talk about is Alexa, okay? So you get ready to hear this great information. This Alexa is the key that I'm going to talk about. But first, let's bring on Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson, the hardest working doctor that you'll ever find. Dr. Watson, MD, talk to him, please. And we're gonna switch over and have your picture up on the screen so the people can watch you and talk. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. There you are. Got that real nice gold trim. Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson, MD, who can do it all from the toes to the nose and everything else. Is that right, Doc?
That's right, from your nose to your toes.
Take it, Dr.
all
Watson.
about.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that people are having concerns about right now is this virus called the hantavirus.
Yes.
Hantavirus was found recently, the beginning of May, on a cruise ship. And on the cruise ship, it's kind of isolated. You can't get off the ship. And this happened with COVID as well, when a lot of people got infected and they couldn't get away.
Right, right.
So the hantavirus, and like the COVID virus, it causes a fever, a flu-like disorder.
Perfect. Beautiful.
And 10
Thank
people were found to have it, and of the 10 people, 3 of them died.
Yes, yes.
And it can be serious, just like, influenza. People can die from the flu as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And what happens is you get pneumonia as a result. And many of these 10 people were not from the United States, And so far, after the May outbreak, we haven't seen people in the United States that we know of
Yes.
are infected with the hantavirus. So people ask me, are we about to have another pandemic like the COVID virus? And if you look at what the Center for Disease Control is saying as of May 8th, that they do not think it's going to spread like the COVID virus spread.
I just have a quick question, Doc, and you can continue, but I just have a quick question. I'm sure the public, with the fact that our administration that's in charge has gutted that administration, that particular department, is that somewhat true, or am I just trying to think of something out of...
You've made an excellent point, Billy. The present government cut funding to the Center for Disease Control, and that's the department that would really be important on addressing this, and they are attempting to address it.
Yes.
And they also pulled out of the World Health Organization, which also evaluates these kinds of problems. So, you know, there's a whole lot I could say about that.
Well, I just wanted you to just touch on that for a moment. And please go back to what you were doing because, you know, we as a public, we know that there's a situation with that department. But go ahead, sir.
And I'm going to give you some more interesting facts about what's about to happen as it relates to health care on June 1st. In the next 11 days, there's going to be some real big things happening, and I think the average person does not even know it. But the average doctor does not have a test, or emergency room does not have a test for the hantavirus.
Wow.
If you thought that you might be infected with it. Now, sometimes it can cause kidney problems, and it usually comes from rats and rat feces. So let's say you were in your backyard and you were sweeping up those feces pellets, and then the pellets released some dust that went into the air, and then you breathed it in. That's how the usual transmission of it is. It's not quite like COVID or influenza where somebody coughs and you breathe it in. But if there is an infected person, they may cough and spread the hantavirus into the air. But the initial infection comes from feces from rats. And in the United States, it would be the deer rat. The deer rat would be the one that carries it. Now, people in the United States have died from hantavirus, but not recently. And I'm just going to give you a little tip. If you went to your doctor or you were in the hospital and they thought you had hantavirus, which might give you pneumonia where you cough up blood, or your kidneys were starting to go bad and you had a fever, the doctor should call this number. I'm going to give you the number. If you have a pen, I want you to write it down so we can repeat it.
Okay.
They should call this number 770
770
488
488
7100.
7100. Doctor, let me give that back to you. This is the number. If what happens, doctor, you want folks to have this number for what reason again, please?
To be tested for the hantavirus. See,
So-
your regular doctor or the emergency room doesn't even have the regular test that would test you for that. That's a number for the Center for Disease Control.
Okay.
And they could tell you where you could go to be tested for that. You know, there are different offices in different cities for Center for Disease Control. And I reviewed, we haven't found it in Detroit yet, and we haven't found it in California yet. But if you suspected that you might have it, And, a lot of people are going on vacation right now, and they're going on cruises, and they
Yes.
might get off the ship with a fever. And then next thing you know, how can I get tested? You would need to call that number first,
Mm-hmm.
770-488-7100.
770-488-7100 is the number that you are speaking and telling the family and the friends all around the world that they should call, have their emergency room personnel or the doctor that they're seeing for testing to call this number, and they will be able to tell them where they can get the test or where to go to get the test.
That's correct. That's correct. When COVID first happened, you couldn't get tested just anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to figure out ways to test people. And fortunately, at that time, the CDC made available swabs where you could put in the nose and test people. You send it into the lab, and you could test people. But they had another interesting test in which you could prick your finger and place a drop of blood on a device, a paper device, and then drop in a chemical, and if it turned blue, that meant you had antibodies to the COVID virus. And if you had antibodies to the COVID virus, voila, that meant that you had COVID.
You don't want that to happen.
No, you don't want that to happen. So we did that a lot in the office. We had a lot of those tests, and we had a lot of the nasal swab tests, and we could send them. The thing about the nasal swab is it would take 2 or 3 days for the lab to get you the result.
Yes.
Where that finger stick test, you got the result right there in real time. So anyway, because I get asked every day, are we about to be in a pandemic?
Yes.
Another pandemic. According to the CDC, they don't think that that's what's upcoming right now.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put that out there, to kind of calm people down, because they are going to be going on vacations, cruise ships. They're going to be on airplanes in which the oxygen is isolated, but the initial infection comes from rodent stool and saliva that they drop on the ground. So, put some thongs on when you're walking around so you don't get anything on your feet.
Well, what about our animals?
That's a good question. I haven't read about that as of yet. Your little doggy, your cat,
Right.
or your other animals. I haven't read about that being a big source of infection or transmission.
Well, you would think that because it's rat droppings, etc., or things that they may have nibbled on, and if your pet is in the yard or go to the yard to play, move around, the possibility that they're going to step in areas where the rats have been, and then their paws, because their paws have ability to pick up things and bring them into your home. That is what immediately went to my thought.
Well, that's a good question, and I will research that. And the next time we talk, I'm gonna let you know if there is thought that is what we would call a vector, another way of transmitting it. Because then, you come, you pet your animal, or
Yes.
your doggy licks you,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, you got your dog all in you holding your dog in your lap, and your dog is in your chest, and you're affectionate with your dog, and then your dog is affectionate with your children, and
So far in the United States, according to what I've read, that has not been a big way of transmitting it. But as you mentioned that, I'm allergic to cats.
okay.
And it's not just the thing that causes the allergy to many people with cats is the cats lick their fur.
Yes.
They lick their fur. And it's that saliva that's licking the fur that causes the allergens. So your point is good. You're thinking along the right way. Is that animals can produce things from their saliva that can cause other problems. And for me, it'll put me in a big allergic reaction. My eyes will get all swollen and
Wow.
ears will swell up. I look like Will Smith in that movie where he got that allergic reaction.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny
Yeah.
because it's not comfortable and it's not. It's
bad.
yeah. It's not. It's not. It's something that you want to wish upon anyone to have to go through that.
No, you wouldn't want. So then that brings up another good point, is that people should consider having an EpiPen in their house, and your doctor can prescribe it for you. It has epinephrine in it,
Mm-hmm.
and you can you just push it up against your arm or your leg, and it'll give you a shot of epinephrine, and that epinephrine will open up your vessels and your lungs and keep you from having what we would call an anaphylactic reaction, in which your airway pinches down and you get into a really severe disorder. So
Yes.
EpiPens, we have one. We probably have two of them here. But I've been over to a friend's house, and the cat walked out, and I said, "Oh, I gotta go. I'll see you later."
Yes. Yes.
I can't even be around. I can't even be around. But listen, here's something that I've talked about before, and it has crept up on us right now.
Okay.
And that is the big, beautiful bill, H.R. 1, the big, beautiful bill. Now, on June 1st, 10 or 11 days from now, it is going to go into effect regarding SNAP and food stamps all across the United States. It's going to go into effect, and usually if you have food stamps, you have Medicaid insurance. And interestingly enough, our present president has made the vice president the czar of enforcing H.R. 1 throughout the United States. And if you do not comply, let's say a hospital tries to take care of you and you're poor, they give you some extra help, and they charge Medicaid, they're going to prosecute. They're going to try to prosecute the healthcare system that violates H.R. 1. So here's what's going to happen on June 1st as it relates to food stamps. You're going to have a work requirement for anybody who is able-bodied, who can walk. And so not the person who is in a coma or has had a stroke or is in a wheelchair, but anybody who is able-bodied and can walk and talk is going to have to work 20 hours a week.
Can I ask you
first, or they're going to lose their food stamp.
Can I ask you a quick question, Doc? With that, please don't
Yeah.
please don't deviate from where you are. But I just want to ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
If I have problems in my hip area, that walking is a definite problem that I cannot say I can get up, I can walk, I can get out and do whatever I need to do. I'm strictly able to get out of the bed basically and sit and basically go to the kitchen or go to the bathroom, etc. Are you saying that people who are in that type of condition are going to have to find a way to get a job and get to work on a schedule?
Well, that's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. So I think what the government, as a result of this plan, is going to say first is you have to be established as disabled.
Got it.
So you would have to have a doctor say, okay, this is a disabled person, and the reason that they are receiving food stamps is on Social Security disability, but not just Medicaid for low income. But the confusing thing about that is if you have low income, how can you work 20 hours a week, 80 hours a month? And if you could work like that, maybe you wouldn't have to have the Medicaid.
We got people
So
right. We got
it's a
people
real-
right today who have been working, per se, good jobs, families, etc., who are stressing out because they cannot keep gas in their car
Oh man.
and pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now with this, all these others, at some point, Doc, I also want you to throw in about what this is doing stressful to the family and to the individuals who cannot afford to put the gas in the car to get to work.
That's Billy. I put gas in my car. I heard somebody say they were on empty, and they had $20, and they went to the gas station, and they put $20 of gas in their car.
For a
And
gallon.
the car went from empty from E or empty to empty plus. They didn't even get out of the empty zone. Okay, so and it cost me $100 to put gas in my car yesterday.
Wow.
So it's going to, and that's in California. The gas prices are over $6 a gallon. $6 a gallon.
We're gonna
But
have.
here's the thing: you asked some really excellent questions.
But Doc, here's the thing. We want you to keep that in your medical bag, Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson, because we got to take that commercial break. But I do want you to keep your flow. It's beautiful. But I do want to ask the family, you see the wonderful, great knowledge that you're being passed on for your health care and things that the doctor's going to talk to you about, this big, beautiful bill, etc. We here on the Talk Beat Jones, we ask that you look at sending in, go to the $, go to your Cash App, go to your $, WHPR TV Radio. Put something on the books for Talk Beat Jones, Billy Jones, Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson. Let us know that we're getting the love, we're giving you the love. And this station is doing some magnificent, just some great things. I'm going to talk about that before we go off the air. We're going to take the commercial break. Remember, we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11. You can watch us on the R.J. Watkins page. You can watch us on the YouTube, TV33 on demand. You can also Sundays, 15.2 from 4 to 5. We're going to come back, talk to you more with H. Jeffrey Watson, MD. Be back shortly.
You don't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Billy E. Jones, Talk Beat Jones. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WHPR TV 33 Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
If you enjoy the music, the talk, and the vibe right here on WHPR, we need your support. Help us keep independent radio alive by sending a Cash App donation of whatever you can to $WHPR TV Radio. Every dollar makes a difference. That's $WHPR TV Radio. Support the station that supports you.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. If you're behind on your property taxes, we have programs to help. You don't have to lose your house, and you don't have to pay all at once. This summer, our mobile unit will be visiting Wayne County communities to help make it easier to start a payment plan and keep your property. Go online or call to find the plan that's right for you and where you can get help from our mobile unit. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to foreclosure. Make your payments every month and keep your property.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Hey, what's up? This is Timmy Tim. I got all of Detroit on lock to bring you the best in late night entertainment, from music videos to artist interviews to concerts and special events. So you rappers, comedians, club promoters, small business owners want to be on Timmy Tim Live? Give us a call at 313-828-0848 or email me at timmytimlive@gmail.com.
313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and
All right, this is the Talk Beat Jones once again. I am Billy E. Jones, and on the line we have the wonderful, the great, the man that cares about you and your health, Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson. Remember, we're on the air, like I said, every Wednesday. I got excited, didn't I? Every Wednesday from 10 to 11, and on Sundays, you can watch the broadcast from 4 to 5 on station 15.2. But again, you can always go to the R.J. Watkins page. You can see the show today. You could participate, and it will be there so that any given time you want to, you can go back and see that show. And you can also go to our YouTube TV33 on demand and pick up all the shows that have been in the queue from today all the way back to whatever year you want to go back to. Doc,
Yes, sir.
I just need a moment here because I got a note from the CEO, Mr. R.J. Watkins, that is just so exciting because again we talk about the bridges this station is continuing to build to being great, and Mr. R.J. Watkins continued to drop these heavy great nuggets about where this station is going and how it is being built further to serve us greater. And the key is this. I'm going to just kind of go through some of my notes. It says, we're going to be broadcasting on Alexa. On Alexa. Alexa, give me WHPR TV. Alexa, give me that Talk Beat Jones. Alexa. All you got to do is, he says, we'll be broadcasting on Alexa, and all the people will have to do is say Alexa, and it will be on the Abel Watkins Broadcasting. Alexa and Abel Watkins Broadcasting. So, family, you see, the station is continuing to move further up, further up, further up. And so we're asking, because it means that there's a heavier bill is on the way. So, family, help the station, help us continue to grow. Go to Cash App, $ WHPR TV Radio. And when you do that, make sure you put that notation is in for Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson, Billy Jones, and the Talk Beat Jones show, okay? Okay. Now, Doc, we're back to you. You want to pick up, give a little preamble where you were, and come back with us, please?
Yes, sir. So I was talking about the effects of the Big Beautiful Bill, or HR1, as it relates to food stamps on June 1st. Is going to go into effect. In just about 11 days, there's going to be some changes. Now, food stamps used to be totally funded federally, but when they do these cutbacks, and over the next few years, the next decade, $200 billion in cuts are going to be implemented related to food stamps, Medicaid, and that whole healthcare problem that we're about to see. It's going to be big, and it's going to be, I don't think anybody has solutions, and it's creeping up, and people aren't ready for it. So, if you have questions about it, you need to, and if you have food stamps now, you need to contact the social services office in your area.
Yes.
Now, I went to a health fair the other day, and the social services representatives were there, and they had some flyers and all this kind of material. And I said, now, how are people going to be able to handle their Medicaid and their food stamps after this big, beautiful bill goes in? Because the other thing that's going to come up in the next year is that you're going to have to reapply for Medicaid every 6 months.
Wow.
You're going to have to reapply every 6 months. And if you forget, you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to deal with social services, this is what the representative said to me. Oh, we're going to have people go online and reapply. Well, I'm going to tell you, I now have Social Security. And it is very difficult to go online to figure this stuff out.
Yes, sir.
You got to have a code. You got to have a password. You got to go here to this department, that department. You got to prove your identity. And, it's going to be hard for people. And so they know it's going to be hard. And so our current government knows it's going to be hard. So the result is going to be that people are just going to lose their insurance. They're going to lose their insurance. And immigrants.
You saying immigrants?
Yeah, immigrants. People from foreign countries. Particularly if you're from Iraq, Iran, some of these other countries that the United States is not so friendly with right now, they are going to purposely lose their food stamps and lose their Medicaid. Okay? And they're going to have to prove, U.S. citizenship.
Wow.
And even if you are a U.S. citizen, you're going to have some problems. So the first thing that's going to happen is the loss of food stamps on June 1st. If you are an able-bodied person that can walk and talk, you are going to have to work 80 hours a month, which, or you can prove that you're going to school, because I know when I was in college, they had food stamps for some of the college students.
Yes.
But if you prove that you're going to school, that is an exemption to allow you to keep your food stamps, but you still got to prove and reapply and all these kinds of things.
And
Now-
with that, they're probably going to require you to have X amount of units that you have to take.
Right. You have to. It has to equate to 80 hours a month or 20 hours a week.
Yes.
Now, here's another thing. We have food banks. You know, we do health fairs, and one of the nonprofits that I work with, they distribute food, boxes or bags of food in certain areas where low income is. The food banks are going to be cut back.
Wow.
The food banks are going to be cut back. And so that's going to be a problem. Now, all of this used to be federally funded, and so now the states are going to have to come up with some kind of money to pay for the food stamp programs, because there's going to be these major cuts. June 1st, 11 days from now. Okay, just think. And food is already astronomically expensive.
Exactly. I mean, it's and so Doc, this is kind of like a deviant conversation that I'm about to throw in. You know, they built and have built all of these prisons, and they made all these made these prisons where it's not city or state. They got them where the private sector can own these prisons, and folks do know that a man or woman is going to do whatever it takes to feed their family. Folks have done some weird things and have had to go to jail behind just trying to put something in their children's stomach. Because any crime is a crime. You may call it a petty crime, but it's a crime. And it's also a process, Doc, where if you're walking and you look like you're doing pretty good and I'm hungry, guess what? I may have to come after you.
Yeah.
You know, because folks have to remember back in the days, folks would do things, say, hey, look, I had to feed my family. Okay?
For sure.
You know, so it seems to me as though we're headed to a really heavy issue of crime from people who would never even have thought about doing anything of that nature, but I'm not going to go hungry. I'm not going to let my family go hungry. Some people say, I'd die before I let my family go hungry. You know, you get that type of extreme conversation started up. You know, because if you're taking SNAP, you're taking the food stamps, and if you're taking and cutting out that emergency base, that food pantries, places where you can go and get the supplemental foods, etc., to help get you through, get you by. They're playing with some dangerous stuff here, Doc.
There's some real dangerous stuff. You know, you brought up a real important thing. And, you know, I always look at statistics. And at one point, we talked about a few shows back about the lifespan of different people.
Yes.
And right now, African Americans have the shortest lifespan. African American men die at about age 69, whereas a Caucasian male might live on the average until 73. And then next is Hispanic. They live longer than African American and Caucasian males, to about 75, and the Asians live to about 79.
Wow.
Okay, but African Americans have the lowest lifespan, and so this change in food. You know, food is medicine if you eat the right food.
Yes.
If you don't just overeat. Now, here's another thing. We have a lot of young people, and we want to make sure that this generation of teenagers and young people live a long time. But the highest death rate really comes from unintentional injuries. Okay, unintentional injuries. And what are unintentional injuries? Well, motor vehicle accidents are one of the main things that kills our young people, is motor vehicle accidents, which are unintentional injuries. Now, I know you may not have heard this. It might have been on the national news, but Saturday night here in Oakland, a 17-year-old driving a pickup truck on International Boulevard and 85th in East Oakland. Now, that's a black and Latino neighborhood.
I know exactly.
Came
what
around
it
the
is.
corner,
Mhm.
hit a car, sped up, drove up onto the sidewalk, hit about 10 people that were standing on the corner, you know, talking to each other, having a good time on a Saturday night, killed 3 of them.
Yes.
He got out of the car and tried to run, and they had to chase him down. The people that didn't get hit chased him down because it was obvious that he had killed at least 3 people.
Yes.
They were dead on arrival. So unintentional injuries, we have to be, you know, right now I drive slowly. You know, I used to like sports cars and drive fast. I drive slowly. Yeah, you remember my plates. Whee! Yeah, and the other thing is watching out for road rage. You know,
yes.
sometimes people, they'll flip the birdie at you. They'll get in front of your car, put on the brakes, or they look like they're going to ram you. You know, just stay away, be cool, don't get in any fights, because people have died behind road rage.
Yes.
Or they've died behind reckless driving, like what happened this Saturday night in Oakland. It's really, and you know, some of the people were very well known to the community. One guy in particular, they called him Frog. Frog was his name, was his nickname.
Right, right.
And people are out on the street now praying on 85th and International for him and the others that have been. Several others are still in critical condition.
I had no idea it was that type of seriousness. I saw the mention about that person and his death in that accident or in that that situation. But I had no idea that it was that extensive, that crazy. I know exactly what you're speaking of, 85th and MacArthur. I'm just so happy that we have you as we're getting ready to go through these crises. Like I was talking to a lady in the grocery store, and she was mentioning the fact of how difficult it is for her to come back and forth to work. And the dollars, you know, she talked about how expensive the food, and she works there, how expensive everything's going up.
Yeah.
You know, we need you, Doc. We need you. We need to have this type of program where people can know that they can tune in on WHPR, WHPS at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday and get some medical relief. So get some conversation about that shoulder. Also, why am I falling down all the time? What's causing me to fall all the time? I know I'm past 60, 70. What's causing me to fall? Why am I tripping and falling? What's going on with me? Is it my feet? Is it my ankles? Is it my legs? Is it my balance? You see, these are things that we should ask you to help us understand more about what's going on with us.
Well, you know, those are excellent questions. The center of balance is really the inner ear. The inner ear, you know, you talk about people who get ringing in their ears, and then they get dizziness, and as a result of the dizziness, they feel like they're drunk. They can't walk straight. And then in the brain, the cerebellum the cerebellum, the back part of your brain, is also the balance area in your brain. Now, you figure once you get older, you can't hear well, okay? And then because you can't hear well, it affects the inner ear, and then that affects the balance.
Okay.
Now, if you're fortunate enough to still have good hearing and good inner ear, the next thing is you got back problems, right?
Yes. Yes.
We know that's so common that you have back problems.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get, you talked about the legs and feet. If you have a pinched nerve at the areas between L4, the fourth lumbar vertebrae, and the sixth lumbar vertebrae, you'll get numbness down your legs all the way to your feet. You think the problem is in your feet, but it's really in your back.
Yes.
And that's called neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a neuropathy. So those kinds of things can happen, and people come in all the time and they say, I don't know why my knee is hurting.
Yes.
And I say, well, did you bump it? Did you hit it? And I examine their knee, and I say, well, what about your back? And they say, oh, my back hurts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're at injury to about L3, L4, that's going to cause your knee to hurt. So you get confused. And so we'll be happy to answer any of these questions to your callers. The callers can call in. That's what we always did on Soul Beat.
Yes, Soul Beat Television,
when
yes.
Call in, and wherever we can answer the questions, we try to answer them, or we refer you to another place in which you can get some help. And as we were talking earlier about this big, beautiful bill, what do I do? What's going to happen on June 1st? Call your Social Security Department, Social Services, and ask them, this is my situation. I'm poor. I'm between the ages of 18 and 64, and I can walk and talk. What are you going to cut my food stamps? Are you going to cut my health care insurance? And they should try to advise you, what you need to do. You got to do work reporting. You got to do, and you got to have about 80 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have, you got to be able to reapply every 6 months. Every 6 months. If you forget, you're going to lose your health insurance. You go to the hospital, well, you don't have any insurance. Well, what happens now? What you going to do? You going to kick me out on the street? We don't know what's going to happen with the ramifications. Now that piece of it, where you got to reapply every 6 months to keep your Medicaid, that's going to happen in the next year. That's not going to happen June 1st, at least in California. But in the middle of 2026 and the beginning of 2027, that piece is going to kick in. So people just really have to have their eyes open about this. When our present administration was in last time, the first thing they wanted to do, he took a pen and said, we're going to cancel the Affordable Health Care Act, or Obamacare. We're going to cancel the whole thing. And everybody said, well, what you going to replace it with? I know one thing. I'm going to come up with something, but we're going to cancel Obamacare. This is really the domino effect of that, and he's hiding it under a name called the Big Beautiful Bill, in which the high-income people are going to get tax cuts, but the average person may not get any significant tax cuts. That's the big deal.
Wow.
So, really look at and see what's happening. Last week, I got a flu vaccine.
Okay.
I'm going to start working at the hospital, and they said, you know what, you got to have a flu vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, oh, boy. I took the COVID vaccine, and I just don't necessarily want to have to put anything in my body that I don't. But in the early 1900s, influenza killed over 500,000 people in the United States.
Wow.
And it peaks around the month of May.
Mm-hmm.
So people are still getting the flu now. Of course, they got a lot of allergies, people rubbing their eyes. and rubbing their nose. But the flu can be, we start out talking about the hantavirus.
Yes.
But the flu can be pretty bad, particularly if you have diabetes, you have congestive heart failure, if you have emphysema or asthma. So I think it's worth taking the flu vaccine now that I took it myself.
Yes.
I think it's worth that. And the reason that they want the doctors to take it is because we're going to be all up on you in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want us to give it to you.
Right.
So, and that's the same that happened with COVID. And I think I sent you a picture of me in my anti-COVID outfit,
Okay.
in which I had a helmet on that had oxygen. I looked like a deep sea diver.
I'm going to go through the
keep
pictures.
Keep from getting COVID when COVID was really big. So I think people should look out for the flu. Young people, talk to your young people. Motor vehicle accidents are the number one thing that is killing young people between the ages of about 15 and 25. And we want to be really careful. You don't have to show that you're cool by driving crazy and doing donuts and all these kinds of things. We want you to live a long time. So,
But Doc,
be very careful
what do
in
you
the
do?
automobiles.
But what do you do when we naturally go through a process where something is said or some move is made, and we have that automatic reflex? Man comes up running behind me, and I'm turning, and he's blowing his horn. I'm like immediately.
Well, that's a good question. I pulled up to a stoplight the other day, and the guy came, and it was red, and a man came up behind me and started honking.
Yes.
I had my blinker on to turn left, but it was a red light.
Right.
And in California, you can't turn left on a red light.
Right.
You can turn right on a red light,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't turn left. He went around me and turn left on the red light. So the other thing is knowing your rules,
Mm-hmm.
and just be calm. Just be calm. There was a real famous sports figure who went to Berkeley High that a guy who was in road rage pulled up on him near Lakeshore Avenue last year and shot him through the window, because he had road rage. So you got to be really, really careful.
Did he survive?
Stick to the rules. Know what the rules are.
Did he survive?
Doc?
Did he survive, Doc?
No, he died.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Gene Ransom.
Oh no!
Yes.
Hold up! Hold up!
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not Gene.
Yes. The great Gene Ransom. Yeah.
Oh
and the person who
my!
shot him had no idea who he was dealing with.
Oh my God!
He was an all-star athlete in the Bay Area.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
And his brother, but I mean, Gene.
Nicest person in the world.
Thank you. This
Yeah.
is shocking
He
news.
was a basketball star. He was killed on the freeway by road rage.
Well, Doc,
Okay.
we got to rage this out because now we've got to get ready to say goodbye to our family. But I do want to say this one more time because, family, hopefully you will feel intrigued enough to want to keep us coming to you. Dr. H. Jeffrey Watson. I'm Billy Jones, Talk Beat. He's Health Beat. Sending in $ WHPR TV radio. And as I said, put a little tag on it. Let them know that it's for the Talk Beat Jones show. Also, let us get excited, get hyped up, get ready, because again, you're going to be able to watch TV 33, WHPR, WHPS, etc. by simply going to your Alexa. Alexa, I want that guy, those guys on that Talk Beat Jones, that Health Beat show. Doc, you got to say goodbye to your family.
I always want to leave you with the eight healthy guidelines of living. The first one is prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation. will help you to relax and reduce the stress that we've been talking about today. Number 2 is read and gain knowledge, and I suggest that you read about H.R. 1 or the Big Beautiful Bill. Number 3 would be eat to live, don't just live to eat. Number 4 would be exercise regularly. And, try to do that about 4 or 5 times a week, maybe 30 minutes at a time. Number 5, rid yourself of addictions, smoking, fentanyl, crack, all that. Number 6 would get enough rest. Try to get 8 hours of sleep if you could. I never really get that, but I try.
Yes.
Number 7, the weather's getting beautiful, so commune with nature. Get outside and commune with nature. Breathe the fresh air. Look at the grass, the trees. Number 8, get your regular checkups.
All
Get
right.
prostate check, breast exams, heart, all of it.
And be sure
All
to,
right? And you'll always hear me say that your health is your wealth. And when you have your health, you have everything.
all right, Doc, you did everything for us today. I want to say to the family, thank you very much. Be sure to watch Talk Beat Jones, the Health Beat Show, Wednesdays from 10 to 11. Don't forget you watch the broadcast on Sundays from 4 to 5 on 15.2. Of course, you can go to R.J. Watkins' page. We just love you. Tune in. Tell your family about the Talk Beat, Health Beat Show. Love you. Peace. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And